this figure, if your bench height is 8 meters, if you divide the 8 meters and assuming your burden is 4.7, if you divide your 8 meters by 4.7, what will you get is the stiffness ratio. Okay. The stiffness ratio. You divide your bench height by your burden. Yeah. Yes, decking. I've spoken about it. Decking. The technique of decking is to divide the explosive column into two. This is accomplished by loading inert materials. I've spoken about it. Decking. I even say we use the gas bag. Okay? And the main key here is that we want a good energy distribution. Okay, you know that in blasting we need a free phase, okay? Because when it will start with radial crack, okay, where the compressive wave will act on the formation. Then when the waves propagate and they meet a free phase, because of difference in density, the waves will bounce back and to come back with the tensile wave, okay? The tensile strength will then stretch. Those compressive and tensile strengths or tensile waves will result in the breakage of the formation. Then after that, the gas that will be generated from the explosives will then fill those breakages. Then the rocks will sharpen. So that's the whole idea about blasting. Okay, so the key or the paramount parameter here is the free phase blasting. You need the free phase. So we have the first one where radial cracks are developed. So when you blast, compressive wave will propagate from the hole, the source. Then they propagate outward. So when they propagate outward, they will reach a free phase. When they reach the free phase, because of difference in density between the free phase and the formation, the waves will bounce back. Okay, when they are bouncing back, they are coming back with a tensile wave. Okay, not compressive, but this one tensile. So those difference in waves, the tensile and the compressive, will cause the cracks in the rock. And after that, you know that explosive, when explosive detonates, they come up with gases, okay, produce heat and gases. Because from the definition of explosive, any substance that act and can undergo rapid decomposition, then it will release tremendous amount of heat and gases, right? So explosive detonate and they come with heat and gases. So those gases will fill those cracks in the rocks, then they will now shatter. That's where we get the fragmentation, right? So the fifth is the air deck is very necessary. When you leave an air deck, it allows uniform distribution, get good distribution of the explosive energy, right? Also, we have powder factor. So powder factor is simply the volume or the quantity of explosives used to blast or break a unit volume of the formation. Okay, so explosives, we pump them in kilos. So maybe you pump 165 of no, it's too much. Let's say you pump 140. That one too is too much. Okay, let's assume you pump 140 kilos of explosive in a given hole. Okay, you pump 140 kilograms of explosive in a given hole. If you want the powder factor, the powder factor is simply the 140 kilograms that you have pumped divided by the volume of the formation that will be blasted. So for the volume, if you want the volume of the formation that will be blasted, it's simply the burden, the burden multiplied by the spacing. Okay. multiplied by the spacing, then times the bench height. So it will give you, let me draw something. So the whole idea is that for bedding, if you have a bedding of, okay, let's assume we are using square pattern. Okay, um, it can be, the bedding and spacing could be the same, but it can still be staggered. Do you know we have different types of pattern? We have square patterns, target pattern, rectangular pattern. Have you heard about them already? You know about it? Yes. So let's say our bedding is 4 meters and our spacing is also um, that is 4.5. Okay, let me say 4.5 meters spacing. And our bench height is 20 meters. Okay. So what we are trying to say is that when you move, if this is your area you want to blast, you want to design a pattern. This pattern size here means that if you move 4 points, if this is your free face, this one here is solid, here is solid. You have just one free face. So you know bedding is always with respect to the free face. So if you move 4 meters away from the free face, that is your bedding, 4 meters. Okay. Then that means if you move 4 meters away from the free face, you have one hole here. Okay. Then if you move 4.5 meters away from this hole and still 4 meters away, you have another hole here. That's the whole idea about pattern. Okay. The same approach if you move 4.5 because the spacing is the distance between class holes in the same row, right? If you move 4.5 away from here, you have the spacing, then still 4 meters, you have a bedding. In that order, like this. So if you want the powder factor for this particular one, you know that um, um, the bedding is the shorter distance that we leave during the blasting. Okay? So we are blasting to the surface. This is the distance I want. If you want the powder factor for this particular hole, if you want the powder factor, it's simply the bedding, the, the bedding. Because from here, if you let's say when you are done with this hole, we are using staggered pattern. If you are staggering it, that means the spacing 4.5, you should have the hole here. Okay, then 4.5 from here, you have the hole at the center like this. Center, center. So we are staggering it on the spacing like this. This is how the holes will be like. So still 4 meter bedding, 4 meter away from this. And so this is how it will look like. And you have another hole there. So this is target pattern. This is target. I want to demonstrate the powder factor. So the powder factor for this hole will be the bedding, which is 4 meters. So we say we are pumping 140 kilos of explosive into the hole, right? So 140 divided by the bedding, which is 4 meters, times the spacing, with the bedding times the spacing times the bench height. You realize that for the plan view, you get something like this. Then you draw the sectional view. I don't know how to draw this one. Um, no bedding, the bedding is in meters, right? The spacing is also in meters, and the height, bench height is also in meters. So this one will give you meters too. And when you multiply, then you get the volume of the area that is being blasted. That's what I'm trying to say. You multiply the bedding spacing times the bench height, you get the area of the hole that is being blasted. The volume, you get the volume, sorry, the volume of the area, the volume that you want to blast, the volume of the area you want to blast, the volume. So if you know you pump 140 kilos into this hole, the 140 divided by your bedding times spacing 0.5 times bench height to give you the powder factor of a particular hole.